Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Rad. And in tonight's live stream, I am gonna check out what we all should be aware of at, as of this moment. So the live stream is going to contain one collective reading, which is globally for the world, obviously, and then 12 readings, one dedicated for each star signs. So if you have paid attention to the thumbnail, you would have saw 3 cards being displayed there. The cards are as follow. The first one, that is the 9 of Swords. The second card we have, that is the Knight of Wands. And then the third card, that is the two, of Wands. And this is how the elemental dignity spread stands. Those 3. And that is for the collective reading. And long story short, really, what we should be aware of, all of us, is that people are going to be, if not willingly, at the very least, being forced to take a goddamn responsibility for their action or for lack of such thereof. Okay, so whether because they failed to do their job, right, or it's because they did something malicious, or it's because they did something beautiful, people are going to, again, that includes us, right? Everybody is going to be forced to take off a responsibility for what they did. Which reminds me that there is a say which states that there isn't a good that goes unpunished. Hello, Rocky. Welcome to the stream. That's on the exterior level, right? On a personal level, it seems that we are going to overcome a certain, I don't know how to really describe it. It seems we're gonna overcome a certain barrier, for a lack of better words, and it's a barrier in a term of a. Okay, so for example, you may be afraid speaking because what you are to say is gonna provoke someone to, let's say, leave you, right? And that fear and you being kind of like muffled is no longer going to be present. So we are going to overcome that in one or another way. But the bigger thing, like I said, is going to be that everyone is going to take a goddamn responsibility for what thou said or thou did or what thou haven't done. Hello, Yasmin. Thank you for the $20 PayPal support, Yasmin. Thank you. Let me put you into the list. So at the end of the stream, as usual, you're going to have your personalized reading of what you need to be aware of right now. All right, so with that said, few notes again about the show before I move forward is that there are going to be 12 readings, one for each star sign, starting up from Aries, and you can check which star sign is up at the moment by the glyph being displayed over here. Just a quick disclaimer, if you will, that is a reading for your star sign, not personally for you. So the reading is going to relate to you to a certain extent, but definitely is not going to be, well, it could be, but it is a long shot, all right, an answer to your questions. So for a personal reading, you can always go to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. And there at the very front page, you can see a full list of my services and also their pricing. And if you do enjoy the show and you wish to support us through Super Chat or through a PayPal donation, which link again you're going to find in the description down below, you're going to have your reading regarding the topic, what you personally should be aware of right now at the very end of the live stream. Rocky, thank you for the 27.99 Canadian. Thank you, Rocky. Let me put you into the list as well. You do have a particular regarding your job. So you want to know regarding your job. All right. Let me put you into the stream, into the list. All right. So like I said, starting up first, we do have Aries. Ace of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. So I don't know what kind of a field this is going to kind of like manifest, right? But it's a bad news, unfortunately, for you, Aries. For what those cards are showing is that you are going to learn in the next few days that things aren't going as great as you might thought, or probably as you might have been fed into, okay? And the development you have been told that you're gonna get isn't exactly there. So that is something that you should be aware of. Or in other words said, for what those cards are showing is that once you do understand the true shape of your situation, you will see that it's not as pretty as you might thought. Okay, so brace yourself. That is the guidance of those cards. Most likely, that information is gonna come to you through a conversation, kind of like an open conversation, honest conversation from someone who is involved, okay, that doesn't want to lie to you anymore. And that is pretty much your verdict here. It's a shitty one, but okay, I do not sugarcoat things. I say it as I see it in the cards. All right, so that was Aries. Now moving on, next we do have Taurus. Seven of Cups. With Judgment. With Justice. It seems that something more important is going to show up for you. That's what those cards are stating here, is that right now, and that's not surprising because, you know, Jupiter just entered your star sign. probably things are going up for you, right? And you do have your hopes, and those cards are not saying that your hopes ain't coming true. It's just they are saying that what you should be aware of it is that right now there is some kind of a bigger responsibility that it will require and demand your attention. So it does look like, Taurus, that in the next few days you should be up for a diversion, redirecting your attention, resources, and dedication as well from one thing to, like I said, a something very important. And it will be undeniable, or rather like a unskippable, I don't know how to put it into words, well, basically you cannot say no. That's my point here. When you are called into it, because um it will be like the conduit, for lack of a better word, right? Where if that fails or it is left unattended, nothing prospers. And while it may be a bit of a slog, while it may be a bit of a aggravation from your behalf, you alone are going to see that, what has to be done, it has to be done, so to speak. So don't despair if you see it as and you are going to see it that way, as a obstacle. It is not. Is actually take it as a preparation. Taco, thank you for the 22 US dollars support. Thank you, Taco. At the end of the stream, you're going to have your personalized reading for the topic of tonight's live stream. All right, next, Gemini. Anna, thank you for the 20 US dollars support. Thank you, Anna. The end of the stream, you also going to have your personalized reading. Four of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Four of Wands. So it seems that people want to help you. That's something that you should be aware of, to ease your burden. Or in other words, things doesn't happen as difficult and as hard as they are right now into your surrounding, all right? Primarily affecting your future. And that's what those cards are showing up here, is that if you do cooperate, okay, if you do cooperate, you will be able to better secure and ensure your future, and definitely make things much, much easier on you. And something that may prevent you from cooperating is going to be you yourself, through not liking what you are to hear, because people which are going to be willing to support you through your development and also cooperate with you, they're going to have a fair share of criticism towards you. And if you do have a big of an ego, then obviously we all know where this all is heading, exactly into the wrong direction. So it will benefit you a lot if you do swallow up your pride this time around and allow more experienced, capable, and as well resourceful people to help you through your development and to support you in it as well. All right, next we do have Cancer. Six of Swords, Five of Swords, Page of Swords, that is skating on a very thin ice. It's a move that you will have to make. And those cards aren't clear is that move going to be successful or not. Well, it's going to be successful in the material field. Like, for example, if the move is about you getting a promotion, you're gonna get the promotion no matter what. The point is how you're gonna end up there. For example, are you going to get the promotion and everybody is going to like you? Or are you going to get the promotion and you're going to have a bunch of enemies around you ready to kind of like swipe you off your feet? And according to these cards, what you should be aware of is not to go behind die backs, right? In a sense of that, well, I don't know how to explain it. Don't overextend yourself, right? Don't overreach, and kind of like choose your battles carefully. You don't have to do heroism here, right? You don't have to be the smart ass into the situation. Just be you, right? Recognize your weaknesses, recognize your strengths, and move forward with as much as you can handle, right? But not more than that. Don't think of, well, I'm gonna don't adopt that standpoint, or well, I'm gonna think about it when the time comes, because when the time comes you won't be able to. Right? So this is where you are skating on a thin ice and moving on the razor's edge here, because if you go a bit further than what your capabilities right now are allowing you to, colossal failure, man. I mean, you wouldn't have had a bitter victory, a period victory in your entire life than this one that we do have over here. Other than that, it does look like that whatever move you are preparing, it does look like that whatever strategy you are executing right now, either in your love life or either in your career, pretty brilliant, right? A pretty unexpected, unique, for what I might say here. Nobody is going to expect it, and that's why it has to be with a subtle execution. Okay. And one last thing, you should be very careful whom you're trusting, because there are traitors among the flock, for what those cards are showing. All right, next, that will be Leo. Six of Swords for Leo as well. The Strength. Seven of Wands. Envy, it is what we do have here. I mean, envy in a sense of that it does look like that you are on a verge of either a huge breakthrough, or the breakthrough already happened, and there are quite a few people around you that envy you for your position, what you have. So what you should be aware of it is that there are those that wants what you have, and you should have the readiness to guard it. Okay. And we're not talking here about a property, more of a opportunity. Like, for example, people don't want your wife or a husband, they want your marriage, right? People don't want your position, they want your job. Okay. So, or rather, like, people don't want your job, they want your career. And that is what is the sad part here. It is that if those people are capable to ruin the thing for you, they cannot replace you. So it will be and I don't know here the English word, like a pointless quarrel that you are going to have, a pointless commotion that nobody wins at the end. Okay, but nonetheless, it seems that you will have to fend what you have. Okay, and for that, in the next few days, you gotta be very quick into action to make those preventions, because you are going to need so, because it's very likely that you are to hear a quite of a disturbing rumors about yourself, about your job, about your relationship, fallacies, true, but very strong fallacies that may overcome the truth at the end. And another thing, whatever you are after, right, whatever you are into, whether a love life or whether business, it does worth it if you do have any doubts yet about it. All right, Virgo next. Seven of Swords, Nine of Swords, the Devil. Let me show you something. You see those chains here, okay? You see those chains? Well, what those cards are showing is that what you should be aware of it is that you broke them. You broke the chains. And you are free from the influence of it. Or in other words, it's highly unlikely that from now on, at least for the next few days, you are to be led by your nose and you are to be fed with the shenanigans. Okay, so for example, if someone owes you money and they try to make it a bullshit excuse of why they cannot pay you back your money on time, you're going to call for that bullshit. In fact, you are about to storm the situation, okay? And you are going to be in your rights. Because in the grand scheme of things, what you should be aware of here is that even if it may seem very, very scary, your self-righteousness is actually very well aligned with the universal righteousness, so you are within your rights for what those cards are showing, to demand what you believe and what you think you have been owed as compensation, okay, as a treatment, as a respect, and the list goes on and goes further. Another thing that you should be aware of, guys, Virgo, is that you should stop at least for a while, okay? Making others better than you are, but instead make you better than you are right now. I don't know how to explain. I don't know what to give you kind of like a push. But it seems that you are dedicating, for what those cards are showing, dedicating more resources for others than for yourself. And if you don't take care for yourself and your own happiness, no one else is going to. All right, next, Libra. Three of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, the Tower. Very similar reading to what star sign it was, Gemini, I believe, right? With the cooperation thing. Okay. But for you, it's more like a granted. Okay, that cooperation is kind of like coming whether you like it or not. While within Gemini, it was about their pride, in this, that if they are proud too much or they show too much pride, then they're going to be left hanging. Well, you ain't going to be, because that cooperation and that help, or I like support, let's not call it help, let's call it support, is rather coming, mitigating crisis in your life. So uh, that's a thing that you should be aware of. It is that things are about to get much easier for you, much easier. And also this support that you will receive, this cooperation, is going to clear out a path for you to make a development, a leap into a development that will secure your life, right? That are gonna make your, or is going to make your situation much more certain and much more secured. Okay, and you will not gonna have a fear for the future, at least for the next a few days. And those cooperations probably are going to take place through a very fruitful discussions. All right, next, that will be Scorpio. Nine of Wands. The High Priestess. Ten of Cups. It's pretty much a call to arms with ourselves. Okay. What we should be aware of, my dear fellows, is that you just cannot go any further as it is. And I'm talking about with ourselves, okay? And that we do need to make some very much necessary rearrangements in our lives. For example, if you had become a hermit, well, it is time to open up, okay? Or if, for example, you are way too busy, well, it's time to clear out your schedule, and so on and so forth. We're talking about those in control changes, like conscious changes that we can make with our lives, that does not depend on faith, other people, or with anything but our dedication. Okay? Because what we should be aware of it is that our lives can be definitely better, personal lives, they can be definitely better, but they do need rearrangement in all of the fronts. Otherwise, it's like a magic circle, okay? And there will be no escape in it. There will be no progress in it whatsoever. And that I said that if we are single like a hermit, or like being withdrawn like a hermit, it is time to open up. I really meant it, because that's the most likely manifestation of the card itself. Okay, and that's within the next few days. If you are single, you should know that there will be definitely interest in you. So it's entirely up to you to open up to that interest. All right, next, Sagittarius. Seven of Wands, Six of Wands, the Emperor. Very similar to Virgo, I believe, but much stronger because what you should be aware of, guys, it is that you are about to be rewarded. Like you're gonna get a huge rewards for your work. You may be rewarded with the relationship you worked for. You may be rewarded with the job you worked for, the position you worked for, and immediately you are going to see an opposition that also needs to be addressed, kind of like immediately. All right. And your opposition is going to be much fearsome than the one with Virgo sign. Your opposition is going to be actually a rivalry, like a true enemy, kind of like coming up. And so the whole situation, the whole time frame for the next few days does require from you discipline, right? It does require from you, if you will, squeezing all you have in an iron fist, maintaining and managing everything to the smallest detail. On another hand, okay, it seems that there are going to be quite of a fair share of situations where you're going to find yourself at the right time, at the right place for you to make an action, and it's highly advisable for you to make it. But you definitely are going to rise up in growth. A significant, the very least, a significant milestone is to be accomplished by you, and that's why you are to be hated by some. But if you try to kind of like be liked by everyone, there is going to be always someone dissatisfied. That is an agenda unaccomplishable. That is a waste of time trying to do it. Okay, so be happy of your accomplishment, guys, and defend it with all you have, because there will be a need for that. All right, next, Capricorn. I do have Sagittarius. A lot in Sagittarius, actually. But I can't figure out for the life of me what kind of a milestone people are going to be angry at me, okay? Because, you know, with Pisces moon being, I mean, my life is pretty uneventful, so I don't know. I guess time will tell. Uh, Six of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. The Strength. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's quite late here, so I'm yawning already. Couple of things that you should be aware of with those cards. First is that kind of like the hard part is over. like when you are um, when you do have a goal, right? Starting it up, it is always the hardest part, and exactly that part is pretty much over, and it was a successfully initiated. And the other thing that it is a consequential to this one is that it seems that you are on the right track with your things. Actually, in the next few days, uh, there will be a linear path. It kind of like um, it's like a snowball. It's already the ball is kicked and you can't see anything. You can't help it but just to watch it and see where it leads to. And it's gonna lead to a good place. Okay, it's just you just gotta have a bit of a faith. Uh, Another thing, the whole experience may be alien to others, and only you can just only see the value of it. So don't try. My point here is that it will be foolish from your behalf to try to seek for a approval and as well a commiseration from others. Mattia, thank you for the $20 PayPal support. Thank you, Mattia. At the end, you're going to have your personalized reading for the transit, or rather, like for the topic itself. Well, Taco, since Meta is all, I mean, Meta is Facebook and Instagram. As soon as you do have a Facebook account, you don't have an Instagram account. Is it just as the same as if you do have a Gmail, you have also a YouTube? You may not know it, but you do have a YouTube. Or at the very least, you do have a dormant YouTube account, because it pretty much signs you up with your Gmail account. All right, Aquarius. Six of Wands, Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands. What you should be aware of, guys, is that there will be a very gainful endeavor or an enterprise. Well, bottom line is that there is a person that counts you into something. You may not know it yet, but you are going to be notified about. Okay, so they are cooking up something that you are going to take a part into. Very gainful for you, the very least, because you are to be all utilized, not utilized, but utilized to the fullest, and also rewarded as well to the fullest. That could be a promotion, a place at work, right, or some kind of an endeavor into your social circle. But what you should be aware of it is that for the next few days you are up for quite a ride. Very exciting, right? Very gainful, like I said, and also I didn't mention that, but most certainly is gonna make you recognizable in a good way. So you are off to quite of a peak of experiences for what we do have here. And for those who are kind of like at the rock bottom, you are about to find your will to prevail, and eventually you will. All right, and last but not least, that will be Pisces. King of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands. So we have those three. I don't know what is going on, but the last few live streams, Pisces are really having it good. It does look like, or what you should be aware of, it's a game changer here that regards to some kind of ambition of yours. You may be ambitious to get into a certain relationship, you may be ambitious to get a certain position at work, whatever the case, it does look, what you should be aware of, it is that the right circumstances will be presented to you, right? And you need to at that moment transform that ambition into a very, very powerful drive, and you definitely have the energy and also the opportunity to do so. But the bigger thing that you should be aware of it is that once you do start, there will be no going back. So you need to be very certain that you want, I mean really want what you want. Okay, I know it kind of sounds confusing, but I don't know how to say it in another way. And something else, Pisces, it wouldn't hurt you if you do have a little bit of fun time to time. Okay, but definitely a game changer for you. It's going to be a wow moment that you are going to have it. Okay, and it will be a shame if you don't take it because it comes once in a lifetime. All right, couple of minutes and then moving to the super chat. So anyone who supported and it may decide to support the stream through super chat or PayPal, you guys are gonna have a reading right now. I'm gonna put the cards here. Just give me a couple of minutes to catch my breath. All right, Yasmin, you do wanna know about your job or what you should be aware of in regards to your job. Those are your cards. Okay. nothing scary. It's just certain priorities are gonna give. What I mean is that certain priorities are gonna shift. So you may be redirected from a one thing to do another. Okay. But what you should be aware of it is that right now, if you don't feel like it, okay, how can I put it into words? The giving and the taking is gonna end up in balance. Like, for example, if you are asked to do some extra work, okay, you are to be also compensated for it one way or the other. But also another thing that you should be aware of about your job, it is that the people that you do work for are growing in confidence in you. They are growing in um, trust, for a lack of better word, that trust that you are gonna do your job, and you may start falling for someone in your job as well. Okay, like falling for. Oh, that was for Rocky. I'm sorry, not for you, Yasmin. That was for Rocky because it was her that I was thinking of. I don't know why I said your name. Now is yours. That was yours, Rocky. Okay. Now is Yasmin. I'm sorry. I was just like I said, I'm kind of sleepy, and but I was thinking about you, Rocky, when I did that. No, Yasmin, that wasn't for you. Now is yours. That was for Rocky FX. Now is yours, Yasmin. Those are your cards, and it does look like that yours are also related to work. Now, I don't know, are you looking for work or you do have one? Very quickly, if you are looking for work, such will be presented to you by an ex-coworker, right? Someone that you worked with before will have a job offer. That is in case you are looking for work. If not, okay, if you are currently working, then it seems that you and person that you are working with, like a coworker, you are gonna have a quite significant breakthrough at work. You may both be assigned to a very important job, to a very important project that is going to put you both on your outer limits. That will be a very challenging endeavor, right? Very challenging one, but in the same time, very profitable, right? That will be an endeavor that you both will have the opportunity to learn. And if that will give you a hint, it does look like that you both were hoping that that endeavor, that enterprise will come at some point. And it is looming now, and it will come in the next few days. Or at very least, you will be presented with the choice to take it or not. And it is up to you to decide what you want to do about it. Hello, Marie. All right, next, Taco. Let's see what you have, mate. You're welcome, Yasmin. All right, Taco. Those are your cards. And first of all, something that you may not ever be aware of, like physically, tangibly aware of, is that you are gossiped about. Okay, there are gossips that are roaming around you via text messages and also kind of like verbally as well. Your character being, can I put it into words, being talked about. Okay. But on a more spiritual way, the results you are getting, they are not going to abate, only the sensation of them. Okay, so whatever results you are making, kind of like a progress, will become less and less exciting from now on. Other than that, it will kind of like continue on to grow to a point where you will get a full stabilization slash recovery. Okay, but right now, you should try to put the best of your character out so you can combat those, like I said, gossips which are going around. If you care, of course. If you don't. But bottom line here from the spiritual reading is that you may feel like you are not making enough progress, but you are. It's just, this is like a diminishing return that you are experiencing here. Marie, thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you, Marie. You're gonna have your reading in a short time. Hmm. Well, yeah, Taco, but sometimes those gossips, they can truly hurt thy image. All right, next, Anna. those cards, Anna? Well, you will receive a good news about one of your children that it is making very good progress on their account. Okay, that's what those cards are showing, and it doesn't look like that you will actually believe it, or rather, like, believe that it is to that extent at first. But once you are introduced at first hand, then you will actually be very, very happy about it. Okay. So it seems that you're going to have one more reason to be proud of one of your children in the next few days, to hopefully for a very, very a long time to come. Other than that, it does look like that in the next few days you are going to kind of like start making plans for more moderate to a long distant future. All right, next, Mattia. Well, that could be the news. I don't know. It's just they say that it's a news. Well, that could be a news. Yeah, that fits the pattern. Otherwise, those cards would mean that you are pregnant. Okay, so, and I remember, I remember one time, and I will never forget that reading. I was sitting here at home with my fiance, right? When I was had a fiance, and she was doing something on her computer, and I was doing a reading, and it was that girl, and she was on the verge of crying. Okay, and I was keep getting the same card patterns, and she was asking about job and all these kind of things, and they just always had that same card pattern that was pointing exactly. And I said, you know what, cut the crap, I'm sorry, are you pregnant? And she broke in tears and she said yes, and she was planning to kind of like terminate it. And within the cards was obviously that all her happiness goes through that, and that was the worst thing that she can do. I don't know what she did with it, right? But I don't know. So that's one way to see it. Another way is like I interpret it, some kind of a very, very good news for one of your children. I was telling you about that my fiance was seeing here, because when she heard that, and she kind of looked at me and said, well, "What the fuck," Because I don't know if she's a believer into the cards themselves. Anyway, Mattia, let's check on your cards. Those are your cards. Okay. And they will involve a man, arrangements with a man. Whether those are going to be intimate sexual arrangements or a family arrangements, it can go either way. But those arrangements are going to be pretty much Loctite in a sense of that once made, all right? There will be no wriggling your way through them. It's pretty much those arrangements are going to be kept. Like, think of it like it's going to be legally binding, even if it is not legally signed. So that said, Mattia, next few days when you do make arrangements, especially with men, don't kind of like over promise things, or rather like don't promise things you think you wouldn't be held accountable to keep, okay? Because you are going to be, and that will overcomplicate things that you do have at your end. And those arrangements themselves, they are going to be a slight complication because they go kind of like outside of your current narrative. So that's going to be one more peripheral thing from you to take care of and to attend to, rather than focus on your main path currently in life. So we do have one more diversion that those cards are showing. However, through those arrangements you can go, or rather like you can pass with a flying colors, and whatever rewards, because there are going to be rewards at the end, okay? Because when those arrangements are done, okay, you will be kept up to something in exchange of another thing, and that another thing is going to be very, very useful to you, right? So it's not in vain, right? It's just not something very, very important. Maria Feber, let's check on you and see what you should be aware of. You're welcome, Matia. Those are your cards, Maria. And regards what you are doing for living, okay? I don't know what is your situation there, okay? But for what those cards are showing here is that there is going to be a movement in that particular direction. And even if you are retired, okay, even if you are retired, those cards may signify that you are to be called for one last job. But definitely we do have a movement into your career narrative, into your career business for what those cards are showing. If I have to speculate, that is going to be an offer for a contract through a phone call. All right, it's going to be about a business. You may ask why. Well, because you fit the pattern, for a lack of better expression here, and also you will find the job itself. challenging in a sense of that, in a good way, right? Challenging in a way that you can go grow from that particular thing. It looks more like a purposeful direction. Okay, that's whether it is a offer for a project, collaboration, okay, or a job like I give you in that example. It will be purposeful for you, and you will see it as the most logical and sensical thing that you can do at that given moment. Okay, so if you don't have what to do right now, okay, and you're trying to kind of like fill up the gaps into your day-to-day routine, next few days you're gonna have that call which is gonna change that. So take the job, take the offer, take the project, take whatever is offered, because it's gonna worth it. All right, so with that said, guys, this is gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and as well for your generosity. And we're going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.